Okay, yes, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, this is just going to be another one of those usual, I'm going to predict the 2023 season. It's going to go the usual, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, you're kind of right. But listen, there is a twist. There is a twist. I used AI, namely ChatGPT, to help me predict the 2023 season. Oh, this is going to go so stupidly fun. Starting up at number 1 in the Constructors Championship, ChatGPT says Mercedes, I say Red Bull. Yeah, you know what, this is, I can understand ChatGPT. Mercedes is definitely a dominant force, and they look like they could definitely come back. But given the strong, performance of Red Bull, especially Adrian Newey, who's still building cars, he's still alive, kicking and designing, it's gonna go, I think it's gonna go over to Red Bull. There's no way Adrian Newey just looks at what's gonna happen and he's gonna fold over. He knows ground effect to a T. No other team on the grid is going to be as good as him with this. Number 2, AI chooses Red Bull and I choose Ferrari. Okay, so yeah, this is... So for those that know me, you'll be like, hey, wait a minute, Key, aren't you a Mercedes fanboy? Why would you put Red Bull and Ferrari ahead of Mercedes? Well, to be fair, although the 2022 season was definitely picking up at the end of the season for Mercedes, I still believe that they are going to be on the back foot when it comes to mid to later season. And especially early, like without a doubt, Red Bull are going to hit the ground running. Ferrari have a French team principal, not an Italian, so now they're going to have some competency in them. So yeah, I'm putting Ferrari as my number 2. Number 3, AI chooses Ferrari, I choose Mercedes. Does much really need to be said about this? I don't think much needs to be said about this. Yeah. Let's just go to number 4. Number 4, we both choose McLaren. So yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. McLaren have always been a strong front-runner contender. In recent memory, they've definitely fallen down to the midfield, but they have not fallen so far below the midfield. I believe they finished 5th last year in the Constructors, but it's McLaren, and they have Lando Norris. And if Daniel Ricciardo wasn't struggling so much with the 2022 car, I feel like McLaren would have easily been 4th in the Constructors. Number 5, Alpine. Same reason as McLaren. They're strong midfield contenders. They had 4th last season, but I feel like the loss of Fernando Alonso is definitely going to hinder them. He is a heavy driving push. And although they say that Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly have sort of squashed their beef, I don't believe so. I think there's going to be some strife, and if they come together, it's all over for Alpine. There's no way they're going to be able to reach 4th or any higher than that. Number 6, AI chose AlphaTauri, I chose Aston Martin. So yeah, I think with the addition to Fernando and the drive to really improve, and especially the late year improvements of Aston, I really think Aston Martin have the chance to finish 6th, if not contend for 5th. I don't think they're really going to be any higher than 5th, but they will definitely make the attempt to contend for it. Now, it is interesting to see AlphaTauri be placed 6th. Being a Red Bull sister car, I can see that they would have the Red Bull parts and technologies be trickled down to them, but also looking at their abysmal performance and the loss of Pierre Gasly, who is just their supreme superstar of superstars. Yeah, I don't think AlphaTauri is going to be doing very much, but hey, the AI's got a little bit of hope for them. Number 7, AI chose Aston, I chose Alfa Romeo. Now, Alfa Romeo were definitely tipped to be strong, but their mid to late season performance definitely faltering. That's why I put them down. I feel like Alfa Romeo's only strong point is Valtteri Bottas. He has the experience, he has the speed to be able to keep up with a lot of the other midfield contenders, but overall, I think the car and Guan Yu Zhou are definitely going to be tanking Alfa quite a bit, and it's going to just slot them in as 7. But of course, the AI performance, Aston struggled heavily early on at the beginning of the 2022 season. So yeah, I can see why they would put Aston as 7. It makes sense. Makes sense. Number 8, AI chose Williams. I choose AlphaTauri. You know what? The improvements Williams made from the 2021 season and the 2022 season, I can see this. I can definitely see a major improvement. George Russell was a heavy driving factor in 2021 to help them gain some points and all that, and definitely show that, hey, they can be a front runner, especially in the wets. And then in 2022, Alex Albon was just driving the car as hard as he could, although the car was dog shit. But I mean, hey, look, he tried. Number 9, Haas. Now, because Haas relies so heavily on Ferrari, I do not believe that they will be dead last unless they do another one of those stupid, yeah, we're not going to develop whatsoever. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. It looks like they realized, hey, we can't really do much for 2022, So let's shift gears and focus on 2023. Plus, they also had, Mick Schumacher, who, although he was great, he just doesn't know how to develop a car and really drive a Formula One car, so he definitely needs that learning curve and edge. Haas was not giving it to him. And although Kevin Magnussen definitely drove the car well, or as hard as he could, I don't think it's going to be enough. Even with the addition of Nico Hülkenberg, I think, although those two drivers will be able to drive the car well, I think the own limitations of one being helped by the Italians and two just their poor track record of design and implementation, I don't think Haas are going to do very well. Number 10, AI chose Alfa Romeo, I chose Williams. So yeah, I can see Alfa Romeo. They definitely were beginning to slog at the end of 2022, but they're pretty powerful. They have got Valtteri Bottas and Ferrari behind them. So I guess this might just be like, hey, we have no other teams to place, so let's just place Alfa Romeo there. For me, Williams, come on, is it that obvious? Well, okay, let me explain. So although Alex Albon is a phenomenal driver, do not let anything be taken away from him. The problem is that although Alex is very good, Williams struggles with R&D, and then couple that with having Logan Sargent, someone who arguably out of all the people that should be in Formula One, he is definitely not at the top, nor is he close to the top. So I think in terms of skill and capabilities, Logan is probably going to struggle a lot. But hey, you know what? Let the man cook. He may pull out some skill. You don't know, right? Just like how McLaren now have Oscar Piastri, who definitely has proven himself. We don't know if he can prove himself in an F1 car just yet, right? F2 and F1 are drastically different still. So you never know. Logan might just hop into an F1 car and be like, this is amazing. Look at me in first place. Whereas Piastri could, he could be last. You never know. Let's see what happens. All right, so let's move over to the Drivers' Championship, and let's see if we can predict all 20 and see how close, either of us can get. Starting off at number 1, ChatGPT says Lewis Hamilton. I say Max Verstappen. Yeah, Max is just too good of a driver. Take nothing away from Lewis. He is a phenom, but I think with the overall skill of Max and just the Red Bull car being that superior, thanks to Adrian Newey, I don't see Mercedes helping Hamilton to a championship win here. Number 2, AI says Max Verstappen. I say Charles Leclerc. 2022. Leclerc, he definitely showed that he has the ability to win a championship if Ferrari don't shoot him in the foot and themselves. As long as Ferrari don't Ferrari themselves. But hey, you know what? If for whatever reason Red Bull falter or Max is off his game, I can promise you Leclerc is going to snatch that right up. And if he doesn't claim Drivers' Championship in 2023, I definitely feel like Charles will sit comfortably in second. Number 3, AI chose Charles Leclerc. I chose Carlos Sainz. So you might be wondering, oh, wait a minute, Key, why'd you put Carlos Sainz third and not Sergio Perez? Isn't Perez in a Red Bull showing that he's much better and in a better car in every way? Well, here's the problem. The car is not geared towards Checo, it's geared towards Max. And this is one of the big problems with Red Bull, is that Red Bull do not build for the team, they build for the driver, right? So Max has a car that suits Max Verstappen. Checo does not. And that's one of the reasons why, Daniel Ricciardo, he left. He was like, listen, this isn't the Red Bull car. This is the Max Verstappen car. I want out. And that's why he left to Renault, or one of the reasons at least. So yeah, I'm not putting Checo in third. I don't see Checo really being able to contest for third when the car is just not in his favor. Number 4, AI says Lando Norris. I say Sergio Perez. Definitely a bold move putting Norris high up on the list, but not totally unfounded. Norris has shown time and time again that the McLaren car is his car. He is able to drive that car the best it can possibly be. So, and with the Mercedes engine, definitely going to be nice and powerful. I, of course, put Perez in 4th because he's driving a Red Bull and he's a phenomenal driver. I don't see a reason why Sergio shouldn't be 4th. Number 5, AI chose Sergio. I chose Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, I definitely don't think Hamilton's going to let himself come out testing R&D like he did last year. The start of the 2022 season was definitely a sore spot for Hamilton simply because he spent all the races up to, I would say, about Canada testing the experimental parts. He was the guinea pig. He was always testing and checking and seeing and doing this and that and this and that. Wasn't helping his cause. But Canada onwards, he was without a doubt the faster driver. It was very plain, evident, and clear that minus Brazil, which completely George's, but every other time, he was definitely the faster driver on the grid of the two. I can see Hamilton definitely eking out to 5th. Number 6, we both say George Russell. So George is definitely a good pick here. Solid. He, the big 3 round out the top 6, always. And, I believe George should definitely one day be a world champion. He has that skill, he has that capability, he has that drive, and, he's in a team that can give it to him. But with Mercedes faltering with ground effect, and I believe their inability to really catch up to Ferrari and Red Bull in time to make it meaningful, I don't see George really being anything higher than 5th or 6th. And in my case, I don't see him being higher than 6th because I think Lewis is not going to cut him any edge. He's going to come out and be as hard as he possibly can. Number 7, AI says Oscar Piastri. I say Lando Norris. So this is a bit of a surprise. AI seems to value Piastri quite a bit. But, you know, I don't think, you know, the top 6 or the bottom 6 teams are really going to have, or bottom 7 teams are really going to have much of a match to the top 3, the big 3. And that's why I put Lando in 7th, because outside of those 6 drivers, I don't think he's going to be able to catch up or be close enough in points to really contend with being any higher. Although the AI seems to think that Lando Norris has the potential for 4th, which, you know, is good for him. But I guess they probably think, hey, the McLaren performance has a chance. So Piastri in 7th. Number 8, Fernando Alonso for me, and Carlos Sainz for the AI. I don't know how to explain the AI. I think this is probably taking too old of a data set and classifying it against too recent and basically saying, hey, this recent one's too much of an outlier. That's about the only explanation I can say for why they put Carlos Sainz so low. He is now officially a Grand Prix winner, so he definitely needs to be, you know, held to a higher standard, but AI will AI. As for why I chose Fernando, well, as I said before, Aston are showing good pace. If they can keep the R&D going to the level that they were and in the direction they were, I definitely believe that they'll have some good amount of pace going into the new season. And, you know, it's Fernando. The man is in his 40s, driving as if he's in his 20s. I don't think Fernando's going to be slow in any pace, so definitely 8th for him. Number 9, we both chose Pierre Gasly. You know, self-explanatory. Alpine, definitely strong contender, high up on the list. Pierre Gasly, very good driver. I think he's going to outclass Esteban Ocon. I don't think Esteban's going to be able to hold a candle to Pierre, but, you know, we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully Esteban doesn't take him out, and hopefully Esteban doesn't, you know, screw Pierre over with R&D and all that sort of stuff. So let's see. But I definitely think, given the strength, here's the thing. I don't think Pierre Gasly is unskilled to be 9th. I believe the top 8 in my list are so skilled that Pierre Gasly has no choice but to be 9th, essentially, right? That's what I think. Number 10, AI says Nick De Vries, and I say Esteban Ocon. You know, I don't fault the AI for saying, hey, put Nicky in 10. He drove that Williams so subliminally well. I think he even drove it into the points if I remember correctly. Either way, you know, I definitely believe that the strength of the Alpines will be too much. That's why I'm going to put Ocon in 10th. But listen, AlphaTauri, you have a chance to make a good car. They are Red Bull partners. There's the sister team, quite literally. Nick De Vries is an excellent driver. I can definitely see where the AI is coming from. I can see it. Number 11, AI Valtteri Bottas, and I chose Nick De Vries. Yeah, you know, as I said, strength, no choice really. Number 12, Alex Albon for the AI, and I chose Valtteri Bottas. Definitely some strength coming out from the AI there with Williams, but I definitely think that the Alfa Romeos are a class above. Number 13, Esteban Ocon for the AI, and I chose Oscar Piastri. Yeah, I put Piastri down in 13th just because I think he's too inexperienced. The McLaren car will definitely get him to 13th, but don't think he's going to get any higher than that. But Esteban Ocon in 13th for the AI. We'll have to see how dog the Alpine are. Number 14, Fernando Alonso for the AI, and I choose Yuki Tsunoda. The AI is shitting me, right? You're joking. Fernando, that Spaniard, 2-time world champion Fernando. We're really gonna do this? I mean, Yuki Tsunoda is expected, but Fernando? Number 15, AI choose Yuki Tsunoda, and I chose Lance Stroll. Yeah, mid-tier skill. Definitely can see them 15th. They're not bottom of the barrel, but I don't see them climbing high. Number 16, Lance Stroll for AI, and I chose Zhou Guanyu. I don't see Zhou being able to drive the Alpine better than the others that are just above him. I feel like Oscar definitely has more skill than Zhou, being, you know, the winner of F2. And Yuki and Stroll both have enough skill to be able to outclass Zhou. I don't see him doing any better than 16th. Number 17, Logan Sargent for Williams, and I chose Nico Hülkenberg. Definitely brave out of the AI for choosing Logan in 17th. That's interesting. Number 18, Zhou Guanyu for the AI, and I chose Kevin Magnussen. We're putting Logan Sargent over Zhou Guanyu. AI, what are you doing? What's going on here? Blink twice if you need help. Number 19, AI chose Nico Hülkenberg. I chose Alexander Albon. I put Albon just because Williams. I think AI put Nico because Haas, but I definitely can see Nico being down there just because Haas. Last but not least, Kevin Magnussen in 20th for the AI, and I chose Logan Sargent. Williams and rookie. No way Logan isn't going to be in the bottom. And Haas and Kevin. I think... yeah. So those are our predictions. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of both mine and the AI's predictions, and what your predictions are as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more content like this. I'll catch y'all guys later. Bye.